A glimpse of the unimaginable. What drives a civilization to subject its members to such brutality? This was the thought tormenting Commander Zelkor as he observed the scene before him. On his visit to the human military academy, what he witnessed left him speechless. Young soldiers in training crawled through mud under torrential rain, their superiors barking orders with relentless ferocity. To him, it looked more like an exercise in madness than military discipline. Why would humans willingly subject themselves to such extreme preparation? And more importantly, how did they turn this brutality into an advantage? The answer to Zelkor's horror would soon become clear. For humans, pain and discomfort were not obstacles to overcome. They were tools to be wielded, and this approach made them dangerously resilient. Coming from a civilization where warfare was conducted logically and calculatedly, Zelkor was unprepared for what he found on Earth. On the planet Itari, from where he hailed, soldiers were trained in simulated, controlled environments, always focusing on maintaining physical and mental efficiency. But here, he witnessed young recruits being forged in pure adversity. The horror was evident in the eyes of his assistant, Revek, who whispered, "Is this part of the training?" Zelkor crossed his arms, his discomfort growing as he tried to make sense of what was happening. The pursuit of perfection. As the rain continued to pour, forming muddy pools that further hindered the cadets' progress, Commander Zelkor began to understand that humans were not limited to physical endurance. There was something much deeper at play. Major Brantor, the officer leading the tour, guided them to an advanced training field. There, Zelkor noticed a division of cadets, all remarkably similar. It was impossible not to see the physical resemblance between them. "Ah, the clones," Brantor said, noticing Zelkor's confused expression. "We are always searching for the perfect soldier. Through cloning and genetic enhancements, each new generation is an evolution of the previous one. These cadets are not just trained, they are created for this." Zelkor was speechless. In Itari, such practices were unimaginable. While his species prided itself on intellectual strategy, they had never considered manipulating their biology in such a way. You create new soldiers to be better than the last? How can you ensure this works? Revek, the assistant, barely hid his curiosity and apprehension. Brantor chuckled as if the question were trivial. "Not only do we ensure it, but we test each one to the limit. Every soldier you see here was designed to be stronger, faster, and more resilient than their predecessor. If one fails to surpass their predecessor, they are removed from the program. Only the best remain." Zelkor felt a chill down his spine. It wasn't enough that humans subjected themselves to extreme physical tests. They also used science to mold their warriors. The idea of failure didn't seem to exist in their vocabulary. Instead, each new soldier was a physical and mental evolution, constantly striving to exceed the limits of the last. As they walked through the complex, Brantor pointed to different groups of cadets, explaining the details of genetic modifications and the improvements gained over generations. "These here," he said, pointing to a group running at high speed through an obstacle course, "have enhanced strength and reflexes. Previous generations could never pass this phase with such efficiency." To Zelkor, the scene was almost unimaginable. Creating superior soldiers through cloning and genetic modification wasn't just a tactic, it was a constant race toward perfection. If this was just the beginning, he wondered how far the human pursuit of power would go. Part 3. The Mystery of the Supreme Soldier. As they advanced through the facility, the discomfort Zelkor felt only grew. The revelations about genetic engineering and clones were already shocking, but there was something else. He sensed that Major Brantor was holding back, as if saving something important for the final part of the tour. Revek, now more anxious than ever, whispered to Zelkor, "You realize they haven't shown us everything yet, don't you? There's more happening here." Zelkor nodded, feeling that there was indeed something hidden. The displays of strength, the explanations of genetic improvements, all seemed to be leading to a larger revelation. "So," Zelkor said, trying to mask his growing curiosity, "among all these superior soldiers, you must have one who stands out. Someone who is the pinnacle of this pursuit of perfection, right?" Brantor paused for a moment, an enigmatic smile crossing his face. "Yes, Commander, you're not wrong, But it's not that simple. The strongest among us isn't someone you'll find easily. This answer only deepened the mystery. Who could this soldier be? Was it the final product of generations of clones and enhancements? Zelkor wanted to know more, but Brantor remained elusive, leading them to a more isolated part of the academy. As they approached a heavily secured building, Brantor stopped. "We're almost there. But before you see what's beyond these doors, you need to understand. This soldier isn't just the result of genetic engineering. He represents something greater, something that goes beyond everything you've seen today." Zelkor exchanged a worried glance with Revek, feeling the tension in the air. Who or what was behind these doors? There was an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant sounds of cadets training. The suspense was palpable, and as the doors finally began to open, Zelkor felt that he was about to witness something truly extraordinary. The final revelation. The heavy metal door slowly creaked open, revealing a vast, dimly lit hall. At its center, bathed in soft light, stood a transparent capsule. Inside, a soldier lay still, surrounded by monitoring systems and advanced technological devices. Zelkor frowned, expecting something more grandiose. A single soldier? How could this represent the ultimate strength that humans so highly praised? Before he could voice his doubt, Brantor approached the capsule and pressed a command on a nearby panel. The soldier's eyes slowly opened, and in an instant, the systems around him began to flash with abnormal readings. Zelkor felt the ground tremble slightly. "Here he is," Brantor said, his voice full of pride. "The strongest soldier on Earth." Zelkor watched closely, trying to understand what made this human special. At first, he seemed ordinary, until Brantor spoke again. His name is Icarus, one of the first to be genetically modified. But what makes him special isn't just his physical or mental strength. Icarus is the sole survivor of a unique experiment. He wasn't just engineered to be the perfect soldier. He was designed to be immortal. Revek, standing beside Zelkor, gasped in shock. "Immortal?" he muttered, incredulous. "That can't be possible." "But it is," Brantor responded firmly. After countless battles, Icarus has survived injuries that would kill anyone else. His regenerative and resilient capabilities place him beyond any soldier that's ever existed. Zelkor felt the weight of the revelation. This soldier, this being, wasn't just the product of genetic enhancements. He represented the realization of a human dream bordering on insanity, the creation of an indestructible warrior. The idea of facing an army of soldiers like Icarus was terrifying. If a single soldier like him could accomplish so much, what would happen if humans decided to replicate him? As the capsule opened and Icarus took his first steps out, Zelkor knew that the balance of power in the universe had shifted. He would never see humans the same way again.